Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast with Miracle Angela. You're watching a conversation with Dr. Salihu speaking about the diversion of fund ADC spoke about by the Tinubu administration to fund the 2027 presidential election. How 800 million by the World Bank was diverted by President Tinubu administration to use for their campaign. The ADC made such statements and allegations towards President Tinubu, and President Tinubu has denied such allegation. Looking at the situation on ground, drop your opinion, drop your thoughts about this statement. If it is true, drop it in the comment section, bring your facts. Endeavor to watch this video to the end. Subscribe to my channel. Don't miss trending videos.
Welcome back to Arise Prime Time, where we offer perspectives on the news and talking points of the day. I'm Charles Aniagolu. Now let's return to those explosive allegations that have been made by the opposition African Democratic Congress. The ADC is accusing the Tinubu administration and APC governors of allegedly diverting more than 800 billion naira from FARC allocations into preparations for the 2027 elections, a claim the government strongly denies. But the accusation lands at a deeply sensitive moment for this country. Nigeria is battling mounting debt, rising borrowing pressures, harsh economic reforms, and growing public anger over hardship, inflation, and the cost of living. At the same time, citizens are increasingly demanding answers about transparency, accountability, and whether public funds are truly reaching the people they are meant to serve. So where exactly is Nigeria's money going? Are these allegations grounded in evidence, or are they part of a wider opposition strategy to politically damage President Tinubu ahead of 2027? And in a country where trust in public institutions is already fragile, what happens when accusations of fiscal abuse collide with growing economic pain? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the ADC chieftain and former Director General of Nigerian National Radio, FRCN, Dr. Ladan Salihu. Doc, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Charles.
Now, your party has accused the Tinubu administration and APC governors of diverting more than 800 billion naira in FARC allocations towards preparations for the 2027 elections. This is an extraordinarily serious allegation. What hard evidence do you actually have?
Thank you for having me, Charles. Let's begin by stating the facts that these figures were not concocted, these figures were not manufactured, these figures were extracted from, an existing international agency report, the World Bank. And we have our sources in government. Government does not operate like a cult. Even as they think they have control of the structure of government and governance, within the system, we have people that, feed us, credible information. And what we are saying is that the issue of this 800 billion naira is a very serious matter. You're talking about funds belonging to a sovereign state that is groaning under intense hardship, stressed by poverty and deprivation. So what we are saying is to deny. We expect that the government will deny, Charles. They should go a step further and let's have full disclosure on these figures. This government cannot be trusted. Why should we trust a government that has faulted and has given us every reason to doubt their integrity in the past?
Well, let me just be clear on something. Are you alleging direct criminal diversion of public funds, or are you arguing that governments are using state resources indirectly for political mobilization and incumbency advantage? Because those are two very different accusations.
It's a combination of the two and more. Because when you have a government that believes that it can translate the commonwealth of the republic and, preside over it and operate like an empire, with the emperor sitting at the top, with the National Assembly, resonating and answering to his chorus. They can do anything. And nobody seems to have the guts and the temerity to tell the government from the inside to apply the brakes. And so we don't trust the government. That's what we are saying. There should be full disclosure. There should be a forensic audit that will tell Nigerians that these figures, are debatable.
When you talk about the figures that you said you got from the World Bank, does the World Bank say that 800 billion naira has been diverted to politics?
The World Bank said 800 billion naira has been diverted. How and where is it diverted to? It's now left for we Nigerians to ask and to know and to demand answers. We are convinced as a party that when you have a government that is desperate to be in power, when you have a party that is so animated with the desire to cling on to power at all costs, and a president that sees nothing in the horizon more than the power and the need to remain absolutely in control, everything goes. And so what we are saying is, look, this government has borrowed how much, Charles? 30 billion in the course of 2 years. Just this week, we're talking about the same government approaching the World Bank for another 1.25 billion naira loan. When you take this into, economic parameters and try to contextualize it vis-a-vis the revenues that you get from customs, from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and the revenue that is accruing from oil subsidy, you ask yourself, where are these monies going to?
And that's a legitimate question to ask.
We don't see anything.
I mean, that's why you're the opposition.
Yes, we don't see anything.
But if your evidence for this diversion of funds is strong, have you submitted documents, payment trails, or audit material to the EFCC, the ICPC, or even the National Assembly? Or is this primarily a political allegation designed to shape public opinion?
No, it is a red flag. We've put Nigerians on notice. We have told, our story. It is now left for the seraphs of this world, the Economic Intelligence Unit, which is an appendage of the government.
No, but if you have the evidence, why can't you follow it through?
The evidence will be collated comprehensively,
right,
and will present it to the government. We are not just, it's not just a fly about allegation. And government will try to bring up all sorts of issues to try and convince Nigerians that there are coded deductions within the federation account. They will tell you the deductions are meant for this and for that, stamp duty and what have you. Look, the golden years of our administration of the federal, FAC accounts was the years of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who will look at the president and say, no, Mr. President, this is the way to go. Who will look at payment vouchers and question them and go to the president and say, Mr. President, I don't believe this voucher is properly audited. And he will give her the leeway. Today, everything goes. Nobody can question the president. And so, information may be slow and sketchy in coming, but they are credible. And that is why we say there should be full disclosure. Come clean, and then we will celebrate you if you are, found to be clean. But we will not keep quiet at a time when what I perceive as literal economic recolonization is upon us as a nation.
Well, the government says the ADC is simply trying to weaponize economic hardship for political gain. How do you respond to Nigerians who may ask whether the opposition is exploiting public frustration rather than offering concrete solutions, which is why this evidence is so crucial.
No, Charles.
I mean, anybody can get up and say that, I mean, somebody can come out and say that you collected money from the government yesterday and say that you should prove that you didn't.
You see
what I mean? You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Until proven guilty, I agree.
So where's your evidence? That's what everybody is asking. I mean, if the evidence is there, bring it out, and then let the people see the points you're making. And I mean, that's the way to go. You're accusing the government of building a political war chest while Nigerians suffer. But let me just finish this very quickly, because I know you've got to respond. But can the ADC itself honestly say that opposition-controlled states, and I'm not talking about the ADC itself, but just the opposition in general, opposition-controlled states are models of transparency and prudent use of FARC allocations?
Well, let me say that the idea of evidence, 99.9% of it is out there. 800 billion naira is there, that is now left for the government to come out and give us. And denial is not disclosure. They must come clean and say, okay, beyond our denial, these are the figures that we have found out. And 800 billion naira, when you look at it, pari passu with the $11 billion road project between Lagos and Calabar, and almost an equivalent value from Sokoto to Lagos that was never subjected to any due diligence, 800 billion naira becomes chicken change. So the attitude of the government is to take everything for granted and to believe that they can go and run away with the figures that they embezzle, or they, like I said, in coded form, try to siphon from the Federation account. And these figures are captured as figures of suspicion, figures of, that have not been duly explained to Nigerians. And so it
is incumbent upon them to give that explanation.
To give that evidence.
Yeah. Well, you have a point there. If the ADC came to power tomorrow, what specifically would you do differently with FARC allocations? Because Nigerians are tired of opposition parties criticizing governments without presenting measurable alternatives.
What I can assure you, Charles, is that we have laid down a very, very comprehensive, very authentic, manifesto that has...
Well, we still haven't seen it.
Yes, I will oblige you a copy of it. But generally, what we believe is that an ADC government will practice government within the accepted norms and context of civilized behavior in governance. When we talk about figures, we will come clean. When we employ people to man the commanding heights of the economy, we will bring people that have pedigree, that can be trusted to run the economy.
The way that can be done is for your party, whilst demanding transparency from the government, also show Nigerians full public disclosure yourselves at this level of campaign financing, donor networks, and political spending from parties like your own. I mean, that's what people expect from you. So that you can then talk from the point of view of, hey, look at where we are at this sort of small level. We're absolutely transparent. That gives you the moral, authority to go and criticize someone else. Because the argument that I'm sure you've heard it before is that all of you who are in the ADC, many of you were in the PDP. You were in the APC. You were in the parties that have been in government and parties that, like the PDP, that were hounded out of office because of things like corruption. Many of you, some of the people you were with, have been in, positions of executive control. I mean, how transparent were they?
Okay, let me see. I hope this does not stir the hornet's nest. Let us begin.
Careful.
Let us begin with, say, Atiku Abubakar.
Yeah.
And somebody like Mohammed Hayatuddin. All right? Atiku Abubakar, 11 to 12 cases from the lower courts to the Supreme Court. All manner of allegations and, tantrums thrown at him to convince Nigerians that he is a corrupt
including by his former principal.
By his former principal.
Yeah.
They ran right through to the Supreme Court. As I speak to you, not one competent court of jurisdiction, not one iota, not one shred of evidence has been provided by anybody. And Atiku has told Nigerians himself that, look, bring an evidence. We cannot just deal and talk about people based on conjecture, based on impressions and perceptions. Those that you see in the ADC today are people that, may have been in other parties, but their conviction and their pedigree has never been put to question. Politicians
All of them?
No, not all of them, Charles. You get it. But I can tell you that the majority of people in the ADC today are people that have conscience, that believe in a Nigeria that can be better, a Nigeria that can work.
What I try to understand, because we're fast running out of time.
Yes.
What I want to try to understand is, are you saying that categorically people in those positions, never mind whether they were found guilty in court or not, just the fact that somebody wasn't found guilty doesn't mean that their hands are absolutely clean.
Yeah.
But the question I'm asking you is that if you look, for example, you talked about the diversion of funds to be used in politics by the APC. Are you saying that in primaries that have been held over the years, primaries that we all know have been monetized, that a lot of these people in your party have never used money to try and co-opt people to their side? Come on.
Look, Charles, I'm going to send you a video clip after this program of how the practice and theory of monetizing politics has been started as we speak by the APC.
So it didn't exist during the PDP.
No, because we have not done any, as we speak today, we have not done any convention that will produce any candidate that has any record that tells Nigerians that we have utilized money to win over anyone. But what I am saying generally, I'm not the one to say.
I said the PDP. Anyway,
the PDP and you're all right. But I'm going to talk about just the ADC because that is where we are.
Yeah.
I want you to ask me the same question when we finished our convention, whether there are clips, whether there will be evidence, whether there are, issues that are related to, vote buying or, that I will utilize to answer your question. But as it is now, the ADC is a clean baby. The ADC, is bothered and concerned about how we will take 141 million Nigerians out of poverty. And the groundwork for that is being marshaled by our own economic team. Right. The ADC is concerned about how we will offload millions of youths.
We've got 20 seconds.
Yeah, for millions of youths from unemployment into employment and to mop up the out of school children. But most importantly, the ADC is out on a mission to ensure that we form the government in 2027.
On that
because
note,
we have the capacity to do so.
I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. Dr. Ladan Salihu is an ADC. It's difficult, isn't it? It's an ADC chieftain and former Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye and thank you for watching.